By the way, if you're wondering what was going on with the lighting there, a producer tells me there was a squall that was going through right while we were recording that knocked out Dr. Nelson's light. Next up, a lot of kids decide to follow in their parents' footsteps. But when the family business is music, the pressure to measure up can be off the charts.
How did it come into my life? I came into music's life, being born into it and all that stuff.
It's a magic potion I fell into, and I drank the whole thing, like I want it.
The first time that I went out on stage, my mom put me in this huge feather boa. I couldn't have been more than 4 years old. And I thought, I am never leaving this stage.
This is a situation where you have people who are actually receiving special treatment based upon credit that other people have earned.
There's this bar, and I don't know how close I'm going to get to it, but I know that's the goal.
I was Bob Marley's grandson Skip, Stephen Still's son Chris, the kids of Carly Simon and James Taylor, Sally and Ben, and Bill Withers' daughter Kori. Their stories are at the center of the documentary Born into the Gig, which will play at the Woods Hole Film Festival this weekend, which of course is being held online this year. Sally Taylor joined me recently along with producer Tamara Weiss. Tamara, I am told you came up with the idea. Is it as simple as you were just inspired by the relationship between your friend Carly Simon and her children, or was there more to it?
Well, I don't think there's anything quite simple about following in your legendary parents' musical footsteps. And I think watching Sally and Ben grow up and take that journey was really inspiring to me. I thought they were both extremely brave, and then I met a couple of other kids, and it had me questioning what it must be like for them to be the children of and put themselves out there and do their own careers in that way. I just thought it was an interesting topic.
By the way, as a viewer of this, the whole point of working in the shadow of the masters, particularly when the masters are your parents, comes through. But I have to say, there's almost a groupie-like satisfaction as a viewer to see these great artists and their incredibly talented kids as artists, too, one of whom is sitting right there. That would be Sally. So can we go back to this 4-year-old deal? When you said that thing about, you said, I am never leaving this stage. When you said that, were you trying to be funny when you said it, or did you actually mean that's what you felt at the moment?
That's what I felt at the moment. In fact, I don't think I did leave the stage that night. I think I stayed in that feather boa, sort of either peeking through the curtains and getting a reaction from the crowd, or I just felt that spotlight on me, and I felt like that was the ultimate, bomb.
Do you remember the feeling as an adult now? Do you remember the feeling as a 4-year-old? You do. It's still in your body?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel it felt like brighter than sunshine.
One of the things that I think everybody seeing this film will think about for all 81 minutes of it is whether this growing up in this kind of family is a burden or a benefit or whatever, and they're totally different takes. We're going to play what Skip Marley, who's, I said, the grandson of the great Bob Marley, had to say, and what you and your brother Ben had to say about similar experiences. Here it is.
Do you feel like pressure from the Marley man, or like I would say almost like a cloud, almost sometimes they'd say over me, like just because it's pressure to live up to that. Man. It's like, no, it's always a light. It's the light out the dark. It's not a darkness or a heavy burden or a pressure, because it's like it's a joyous thing.
If you feel like going into the family business, then regardless of how successful, in our case, regardless of how successful you are, it feels like a failure.
I love the shots of the two of you together, by the way, and your inner reaction is just fabulous. So is the difference because everybody's different, or is the difference because Bob Marley is not alive and your parents are very much alive, Sally?
I would say that I don't think that there is a difference. I think that what Ben was saying is really true, is that in both clips that you played, he recognizes that we're being valued for something we didn't earn, and we are being put in a spotlight that we don't really deserve.
How hard is that when you know that, even if you know you're talented and have confidence, which you do, I hope, how hard is that to know that they're paying attention to you, at least at first blush, because of who you were born to?
A combination of embarrassed and grateful.
Tamara, you know, the selections were brilliant, and I have no idea how you picked these artists to do this, but why? Why these? I mean, Willie Nelson has a kid who's really talented. John Lennon has a kid. Bob Dylan. Why these artists? Why was that decision made?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to clarify one thing that you asked before. I do think there is a slight difference being once removed for Skip and Sally.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion, and just because it's not his parents, it is his grandfather is no longer here. So it is slightly different. The reason, well, Sally and Ben, I love them and I've known them for a long time. So they were the first two in, and I wasn't going to do this film if Sally hadn't just said, I'm in, and Ben. I met Kori Withers, and I loved her music as well. And I was introduced to Chris Stills, and we had a connection to Skip Marley, and we realized that we loved all the music of these kids. And there were 5 of them, and we could have gone on and on and on and done like a series. But 5 was enough, and it was a very organic process how it happened.
By the way, and also I said this, 81 minutes was absolutely perfect. And, you know, when we used to be able to watch Woody Allen movies, I loved them for those reasons, because they were short and really nailed it. And you guys did that here. You know, Sally, I am always amazed when sane people are willing to bare their souls in public. I don't like telling people where I had lunch yesterday, much less what you did. What was it like to watch this after the fact for you?
I would say painful. I think, like the other kids in the same situation, we've spent a lifetime trying to hold up a specific image of our lives that accommodates the fairy tale that most people have of what that's supposed to look like. And I think it was painful to watch it and to know that it was in some ways a betrayal of that, just to be honest, but also it's a beautiful film. I mean, I think that the authenticity and integrity that Tamara and the other filmmakers had in creating it was probably to the detriment of the film itself, because it's not sort of this sort of torrid, like, let's tear through this thing. It's much more sort of private and flattering to those that in most situations people would want to sort of see the lurid, torrid details of what the inner skeleton of the thing looks like.
Have your mother or father seen this thing yet?
My mom has seen it. I don't think my dad has seen it.
And what did your mother think of it?
Well, she loves it. One of the things that I'm always so shocked at is that people, one of the first questions that they have is, what was it like? And, what was it like to grow up with these two sort of celebrity people? And I think that they probably know what it was like much more than their other pals, what it was like, because there's no secrets. There's been just such a completely open version of my parents' stories, so I can't, I wonder what they mean by that. So I think that my mom is familiar and used to sharing the skeletons in the closet. And so it wasn't any sort of, big revelation to her. But I think she really enjoyed the film.
I don't think anyone's more proud of their children than Carly is of Sally and Ben. I mean, she just adores them and adores their music, and they play a lot together, and I think you see that in the film.
I love that. I love hearing that. Hey, Sally, when your kid says that he wants to do the same thing, what do you say?
Probably something similar to what my folks said, which is, I hope you don't have to do this, but if you want to, I know you have it in you to do it.
Okay, so Tamara, before you go, what's the moral of this story? Is there one, or is it just this incredibly wonderful, intimate, music-filled, honest hour and 20 minutes?
Thank you. Yes, it is exactly what you said. And I think don't assume that these kids or children of have it a certain way, and come with an open mind and an open heart. Enjoy the music. It might make you reflect on your own lives as well. Hopefully it will.
What was the takeaway? What do you think the takeaway is, Sally, from the film? Or what should it be?
My takeaway and my the catalyst for my wanting to participate in it was to show that, you know, no matter what your situation is, no matter what your circumstances are, everybody wants to be and feel loved and heard and understood. And it doesn't matter whether you've, been dropped on your head from the stork, or, you know, whether you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, as the five of us were. Everybody is looking for validation and love. And, we're all on this planet doing the same thing, which is sort of searching for ourselves and searching for acceptance. And that's certainly what I think comes through in the film.
Well, you and your brother Ben said it beautifully in the film, and you just said it beautifully again now. Sally Taylor, Tamara Weiss, congratulations. Great to see you both. Can't wait to see the film again.
Thank you so much.
The virtual edition of the Woods Hole Film Festival, featuring Born Into the Gig, among many other movies, starts this Saturday. For more information and passes, visit woodsholefilmfestival.org.